I really enjoyed the movie. I watched it this morning. I thought it was
Oh,
a
good.
fantastic performance and just a really great kind of really authentic drama that felt quite cinematic at the same time. And I thought it was, yeah. I'm just looking forward to seeing it on the big screen now. That's the next aim.
Oh, cool. Yeah, fingers crossed.
So my first question really was just how you kind of came to be involved. Did you know Ben already before getting involved in this project?
Yeah. Me and Ben have known each other for about 5 years, and we've worked on little shorts before together, but nothing of this size. And we were talking about making something of feature length, and he went ahead and wrote it for me, which was great. And I was based in Budapest on a show at the time. And so we just thought, whatever he's going to write, let's film it out there whilst I'm there.
What's it like to have a part written for you? Does that add a kind of slight pressure to the whole thing, or is it? I mean, it must be a bit of a dream in some regards.
Yeah, it's a total dream to have it sort of arrived in my inbox. But he's a brilliant writer in the way that he's not very precious about what he's written. So a lot of it was workshop the two of us over the course of a year, really, because of COVID, it kept getting rolled back. So we did these brilliant workshops and tested the cameras together, and it just made sure that the character was developed over a length of time, which meant that it just felt a bit more, it just had a bit more depth to it than I think
Yeah.
it would if we rushed into it.
Because I'm always hesitant to say things like dream role and that sort of thing, but this really does feel like the sort of role that actors love to get, because it's to have such a kind of intimate, complex character study at its kind of core. I mean, you must have been thrilled to have a project like this sort of end up on your lap.
Yeah, I was thrilled. I was really scared because it's like nothing I've done before. The job I was doing before was shooting aliens for like 10 months. So it was the total polar opposite. And then before that, a lot of theatre. So the only thing that theatre kind of helped with in terms of shooting this was because it was shot on Super 8. So it was we rarely had more than one take per scene. So that kind of really helped with that background.
Yeah, I mean, because it's so sort of this, I thought the film was so real and so kind of authentic. And you'd think perhaps it would be easier to play a role like this because it's that kind of more relatable, more kind of close to ourselves. But in some ways, is it kind of harder than it is to kind of be out there shooting aliens? Because it requires so much more kind of subtlety and nuance, I suppose.
Yeah, I found it so much harder, and I found it especially hard to watch. I was really involved with the process, and I was around during the edit, but I didn't see it until Monday, which was one of the last screenings at the LFF, and I found it incredibly difficult to watch because it is just really delicate, and the subject matter is like full of truth, and yeah, it's definitely, I found it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say it's probably the hardest thing you've had to watch of that you're in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far, but God knows what's next.
In terms of like researching the part and understanding the kind of world of the character and stuff, given your job, it's obviously a somewhat familiar world and environment. I just wondered if that helped at all, being in the kind of film industry yourself and having colleagues and friends who kind of who are production managers, for example. Did that kind of closeness help kind of understand the sort of small delicacies of the kind of world that you were inhabiting here?
Yeah, totally. I was able to draw from, and with Ben as well, we both worked with so many people over the years that work so incredibly hard behind the scenes, and the production crew and all of that lot are just so incredible. The film touches on a lot of the topic of like burnout and just getting to the end of your tether. And I think that is kind of a bit more universal. I've got loads of mates that have been through that in their 30s, just working and losing themselves within all of those hours. Um, but yeah, so primarily it's the crew that we were kind of inspired by.
Yeah. And how was it shooting in Budapest?
I loved it. I loved it because I actually got to see Budapest this time because when we're shooting Halo, we're kind of um elsewhere. But it was lovely, and I love the city. It's a gorgeous place.
Because I love the way it all looks, and obviously the way it's shot and looks on screen. Did you get a sense of the kind of visuality while you were filming it? I mean, were there kind of rushes coming in? Were you able to see on the monitor the kind of look and feel that there was kind of Ben was kind of going for, or did it come as a bit of a pleasant surprise to you when you saw it on Monday for the first time?
It came as a total surprise. We'd done test shoots, so we kind of knew the quality of the film. But when we were out there shooting on Super 8, the Hungarian lab at the time couldn't process the rushes for us. So everything was blind for the entire shoot until about week 2. And then we managed to get some back from England. But then that was it. So it was really, I mean, poor Ben, I'm surprised he didn't have a heart attack, but he really didn't know what he had in the can. Which was really impressive.
Because I mean, obviously, according to the very unreliable source that is IMDb, it says you've directed a short, or you've kind of been involved in it. I was just wondering if, like, well, similarly to sort of like what Ben's done here, is directing something you'd be quite keen to explore further? Do you have a kind of a feature in your ambitions to kind of do one day?
Yeah, I definitely do. I've started directing shorts, and it's just all practice and all learning because it's all so new to me, that part of the world. But it's helping with every role. Like, it's helping with the writing, it's helping with the acting. So I just want to keep going and hopefully, push towards that feature that's in actually in this thing.
Yeah. Have you found that, like, you're sort of consciously actually sort of learning from directors you're working with on shoots? Are you kind of studying their craft to some small degree?
Yeah, totally. Especially Ben, mostly because I've been working very closely with him. But in something like Halo, when the director changes every couple of episodes, it's just so interesting to see everyone's different styles and how I respond to as an actor and what their priorities are. It's fascinating how different they can all be.
Yeah, because I was thinking, because I was looking at some more of your sort of credits and stuff today, and you're obviously quite a big player in the world of video game voiceover work. I just wondered, have you ever been recognised purely by your voice before?
I have actually, yeah. I think there was someone who recognised me from Mass Effect, which was years ago now, but yeah. I love that world. That's it's really grown over the years that I've been doing it, and the writing involved in the video games is so impressive now. It's a real epic thing.
Because the two worlds kind of collided, I suppose, when you performed in the live action series of Halo, that kind of marriage, isn't it, of a video game and kind of on-screen acting. How was that experience looking back? I think I remember sort of covering some of Halo when it first, I thought it was really great, but it was such a kind of ambitious, obviously so much kind of requires such a sort of suspension of disbelief of all the kind of, the aliens and all that sort of stuff. How was it kind of being on set, and was it quite an enjoyable experience for you?
Yeah, it was totally epic. It was huge. The amount of people on set at all times, and the actual sets themselves are so impressive. And we've just finished series 2, which will be out pretty soon, and that it's even bigger. It was otherworldly, actually, how much time and effort goes into all those things. It's quite incredible.
Yeah, and as an actor, does it almost remind you why you got into this profession in the first place? In the sense that, like, it's so, when we're kind of kids and we're running around playing kind of, cops and robbers and stuff and standing behind doors like James Bond, it's all that kind of world of make-believe, isn't it? That kind of like play, sort of pretending to run around and whatever. And when you're on a set like Halo, does it kind of tap into that quite inherent childlike quality of kind of dress up and what I'm sort of, the whole kind of make-believe aspect of acting?
Yeah, totally. In chiming with that, it's more like the variety of doing that and wearing like a 30 kg suit and shooting hundreds of people or aliens, and then doing something like this, like Haar, polar opposite. Like, I think that is kind of the dream. That's what I want to keep on channeling.
Yeah. So just finally, before I sort of do go, I just wondered, having now sort of made Haar, which obviously, like, as from an audience perspective, is such a great character study. But what did you take away anything from this experience and playing this kind of character? Did she rub off on you at all?
She really did. I mean, I think Jeff's like fatal flaw is just not opening up to anyone. It was quite a typical, what people assume to be male quality, but I think Jeff has it in spades, and the thing that I loved, that I took away from it on Monday, was this like innate desire to make sure that you call your loved ones. Like, don't leave it away. But I'll yeah, I love the film, and I think what I've taken away from it this week with the LFF is to just want to keep making more.
Yeah. Straight after the film, I just sort of gave my mum a call, see if she was doing all right.
Good. I'm glad.
It worked. Thanks so much for speaking to me today, Kate. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, and best of luck with the release of the movie. And yeah, hopefully there'll be more to come like that in the future.
It was lovely to meet you.
You too. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys!
Hey, you guys!